Fellow Libertarians of Massachusetts, I wish I could have been with you for this convention, but I'm glad you're all assembled here today in Westboro. We have a great deal of work ahead of us. 2016 gave libertarians access to the national stage to bring the message of self-ownership and non-aggression to the country. Governor Johnson and I were able to make confirmed Republicans and Democrats ask the questions that libertarians ask all the time. Should government do this? And that represents a change in the direction of our country. 2016 also exposed the fraud of the Commission on Presidential Debates. When Ross Perot, who was polling at 7%, was allowed in the 1992 debates with a Republican and a Democrat, he ended up with 19% of the vote. When Jesse Ventura was running for governor in Minnesota, he was polling at 10% when he was allowed in the debate, and he won the election. So why do you think the old parties moved the goalposts and set 15% as the target to be in the debates? It's not hard to figure out. When the polling question is, if the election were today, who would you vote for? And the question is asked 3 months before the election, every person of good conscience who honestly answers, I don't know, is counted against a third-party candidate reaching that 15% threshold. But in 2020, I expect a libertarian to be polling over 15% and on the stage with Donald Trump and whomever the Democrats nominate. And I know that on that national stage, the ideas of liberty will resonate with an American people who have always yearned to be free. But to reach that goal will require hard work at the state and local level first. The inexorable growth of government has seen its first real hiccup, and you, the dedicated core of the Libertarian Party, made that happen. Your tireless efforts for ballot access put Governor Johnson and myself on the ballot in all 50 states. Just over a year ago, I had the honor to turn in to the Secretary of State the last batch of petitions that so many of you here gathered in Massachusetts to put us over the top. And as wonderful an experience as that was, I'm happy that in 2020, you will not have to gather signatures to put the Libertarian candidate for president on the ballot in Massachusetts. I'm of course presuming that the LPMA will retain its major party status, which guarantees presidential ballot access. And the reason I am confident in that presumption is because I have learned that Dan Fishman will be running for Massachusetts State Auditor in 2018. The Libertarian campaign for Auditor almost writes itself. Electing a Democrat to be responsible for auditing the state government is problematic for many reasons in this state, but one clear example is that the current auditor settled a suit for $115,000 filed by her assistant, who had had the temerity to complain that she was fired for telling the auditor that it was not appropriate for her to use the powers of her office to secure political endorsements. You all have known Dan Fishman as a congressional candidate in 2012 on the North Shore and the political director of the Libertarian Party of Massachusetts since 2013. I got to know Dan well when he was the Northeast director for the Johnson-Weld ticket last year. Those of you who know him know the enthusiasm he brings to everything he does. But unless you've worked with Dan directly, you may not be familiar with his emphasis on results-based actions or his deep technical background. Dan and his team at Palm pioneered work on the Palm 7, the first mobile device to sync with the internet. And Dan is actually listed as the inventor on a patent that deals with keeping information online in sync with remote servers. Dan will bring his technical expertise to the auditor's office, putting all the Commonwealth's books online all the time. Dan will also bring libertarian ideas to Beacon Hill, and the auditor's office is the perfect place for them. Libertarians have a reputation for watching every penny of government spending. Dan will expose government waste as no partisan office holder ever would or could. A Libertarian in the Auditor's office will demonstrate to the people that there's a critical role in government for people who can take office without owing any political favors. Dan Fishman in the Auditor's office emphasizes that Libertarians have a critical role in solving the imbalance in government. And Dan Fishman in the Auditor's office puts a person of character into an office that desperately needs it. That's why I am proud to endorse Dan Fishman for Massachusetts State Auditor in 2018. I will do everything in my power, including, of course, raising money to get Dan Fishman elected. Thank you very much, and God bless.